Showdown between the Rams and Seahawks right here on NFL Network. Can I get Gilmore to Seattle to stop Cooper Kupp? Let's do it. Omar Ruiz has the latest.
Good morning, Kay. The Seahawks trying to put 4 quarters together for the first time this season. Their first 3 games of the year, they were dominant to start. In fact, they averaged almost 21 points per game in each of those first 3 games. And then on Sunday against the 49ers, they started slowly. In their first 5 drives, they had a combined -7 yards before keeping their composure and rallying to win going away. Russell Wilson says part of that inconsistency is their 3rd and long situations. In fact, more than 50% of their 3rd downs this season have been 3rd and 7 or longer. Despite their 2-2 record, the Seahawks have led by double digits every game this season. Wilson saying that overcoming this early season adversity will ultimately make them a better team. He's trying to impress upon some of his younger teammates his even-keeled approach, something he hopes helps them as they get set to play in front of their frenzied 12s for the first time in their careers in prime time tomorrow night.
Appreciate you, Omar. Good to see you. It's been a while. The Rams coming off a big division loss to the Cardinals. The Seahawks got a nice division win over the Niners, but they still need to keep pace in that NFC West. Very, very small, negligible margin of error in that division. So which team needs a primetime win, guys, on Thursday Night Football more? Who needs it, the Rams or the Seahawks?
I think Seattle needs it more based on how things ended last season against the Rams. Remember, Jared Goff was not supposed to play. There was an injury. He comes in. He's got 9 fingers, goes in there, and he beats the Seahawks in their building. I think there's a really good rivalry. There's so much hype on Stafford. Like, the Seahawks need to put their stamp on this team. This is their new Seahawks with Shane Waldron as the offensive coordinator, who used to be with the Rams. We don't lose at home in primetime to you guys. It's just not what we do. I think it's important. I also think the Seattle defense needs to make a statement. They beat the Niners last week. They beat Trey Lance, who came in there after the Garoppolo injury. But look how bad their defense has been.
Yeah.
Do it on the national stage. Get right. Figure it out. Jamal Adams, show up. You're the highest paid safety in the league. Make a few plays. And my last point on this, I don't think this is a do-or-die game for the Rams. It would be terrible to lose 2 games in 4 days, but look what awaits the Rams. After that, it's the Giants, it's the Lions, it's the Texans. If you're 3-2 going into those games, I assume you'll go and win 2 of those 3 or all 3. You're going to be just fine. Seahawks, it's not so easy. Seahawks cannot go 2-3 and then be facing that and with another loss at home to the Rams in a big game. I think the Seahawks need this win. And I know it's early. They need to get right on defense, too.
Definitely. The Seahawks need this win more than the Rams. To your point, I think the Rams have an easier schedule going forward, and I think the Rams are going to be one of those 4 NFC teams, left at the end of the year. Seattle, based on how things ended last year, based on the way this defense is playing, I know there's always that debate on whether they should let Russ cook. Well, whenever they let Russ cook, the defense gives up 450 yards 3 straight weeks. Yeah. I think they need to play more of a balanced attack. Have Russell be explosive in certain moments, but they got to run the football, okay? Pete Carroll's teams, the staple is running the football and then Russell doing this off-play action and in special moments. Again, Russell is the best deep ball thrower of the football in the National Football League, but he can't have 30, 40 attempts every single game. They have to calm the game down, run the football. That's how you deal with Aaron Donald, too. That's how you deal with some of the guys on the defense for the Rams. They do that. I think they'll be the winners at the end of this game.
But the Rams are supposed to go 17-0.
No.
Stafford's going to win the MVP. No. Cooper Kupp is the best receiver in the whole league. They don't need Stephon Gilmore to stop him. Just turn on the Cardinals tape. They did just fine. If you lose this one and it's 2 in a row, it's like, hold on. I trust Russell Wilson implicitly, endlessly. He will always level the ship. I don't know if Matt Stafford will. When has he ever? Guys, we have to stop handing everything to the Rams. I think they need it more because I think the bloom has fallen off the rose if they lose 2 in a row. And all this Tinseltown, SoFi this, SoFi that, it was a little premature. In fact, it was a lot premature. Maybe they'll prove everybody wrong and go and torch everyone. I can't pencil them in for all those wins.
Right. I said 2 out of the 3. I would think they could beat the Giants.
I would think so, too.
I don't know.
But we have designs on playing the NFC title game in SoFi and then the Super Bowl in SoFi. The expectations went through the ozone layer in the last few weeks. Lose 2 games in a row, 2 division opponents who have been there before, blooms off the rose.
Do you think the critics start coming out for Stafford again? Like, last week it's almost like a mulligan.
Are there Stafford critics? I thought I was the only one.
You're right.
I don't know if there's any.
I'm on that dinghy with you, bud.
That's true.
I'm still there.
That's true. Back in the Detroit days,
it does seem like he's unassailable so far this season. Everyone's just already crowned him when he hasn't.
9. We just call him 9. The greatest talent ever. He's awesome. He's a great guy. He's a great player. he's accomplished in just as much in the postseason as Kyler Murray has. That's what matters.
The fascinating part to me is like the bigger picture of the Russell side, right? Because like, yes, they can lose this game and they can be fine, but I mean, this win's going to put them back underwater. They just got out of it, right? So let's say, the Seattle Seahawks need to be like in contention, not squeaking by and making the playoffs. If they're one and done this year, if they don't make the playoffs, if they don't take a step forward, is Russell Wilson their quarterback next year?
That's a great question. Probably.
You think so?
And they probably will win one playoff game and then lose. Like, that's just what they do, but they get there.
Do you think he is? If it does not work out for them this year?
If it doesn't work out this year,
they miss the playoffs. Is he the quarterback?
I still think he's the quarterback. You can't.
If they miss the playoffs?
It's quarterback and having great quarterback play is a premium in the National Football League. You don't just let a guy like Russell walk out of the building, okay? Now, again, if he starts to make a stink again and starts saying his O-line is sorry and, you know, all those things, then, hey, maybe they'll make something happen. I don't see it happening.
I just like asking you about the Seahawks and Russell Wilson. Let's bring in Ian Rappaport now. We welcome him back. We are only 5 weeks into the Urban Meyer era in Jacksonville and in the NFL, but it's gotten off to a bad start in Jacksonville. What is the latest?
Well, Urban Meyer addressed his team, the entire team today, in a speech really a couple minutes ago to take responsibility for his actions at a Columbus bar involving a young woman who was not his wife. This weekend, Meyer was, from what I understand, honest and pretty forthright, expressed remorse, asked for forgiveness for his team, basically took responsibility for what he did. He told his team he believed in them and loved them and said he cares about two things, really, football and family, and he said he embarrassed them both. Some pretty strong words from Urban Meyer. It all comes in the wake of owner Shad Khan offering a rebuke in a statement of Meyer given his actions over the weekend, saying that it is essentially on Urban to earn the trust back of the team, of the owner, of the players, and perhaps Urban took a step toward that goal earlier this morning.
Thank you so much, Ian, for the update on that. Please join me in welcoming our next guest to the show. He looks scary when he's on the field, but he's so nice in person. He comes from Honolulu, Hawaii, played with San Francisco, now with Indianapolis, the 7th overall pick of the 2016 NFL Draft. He now has Pro Bowl and All-Pro honors to add to his resume. It is Colts defensive tackle, Dr. Defo, apparently. DeForest Buckner.
Aloha.
Yo, what up, y'all? Appreciate y'all for having me again.
We love having you on the show, and we love having you coming off a win. Yes, your first win of the season. You started 0-3. Tell me about the mood in the locker room after getting that dub. Was it a relief, or is it straight back to business?
No, it was definitely a little bit of a relief, you know, getting that monkey off our back, finally getting in the win column. You know, all the work that the guys been putting in, especially this past week, you know, preparing for Miami. We knew what it took, and we played good enough to win the game. Obviously, we still got, you know, things we got to clean up, but it's definitely good to get in the win column.
It is good, and it was fun to watch. You know, we do love having you on the show. We also used to have your quarterback when he was a young pup right out of college. Carson Wentz has been on the show many times. He's a guy that we root for. For us, he was battling 2 ankle injuries. He injured both his ankles earlier in this season, and yet he played through it. How much did Carson Wentz beating that injury out motivate the team?
Motivated us a lot. I mean, it just showed the grit that he had, you know, doing whatever it took to get back on the field. I mean, you know, after that LA game, I mean, he could barely walk. It was crazy. I mean, he was scooting around on a little scooter. But, you know, he didn't rule it out. You know what I mean? He knew it was a division game, big game for the team, the organization, and he wanted to do whatever it took to get back on the field, and he did that. I mean, I had an ankle injury last year, and you know, it was just one, and I fought through it. But I mean, this guy had 2. So, I mean, it just showed, you know, he would do whatever it took for the team to get out there and, you know, play for us.
Yeah, DeForest, that's true leadership right there, bro. So next up is a Monday night showdown between your Colts and the Baltimore Ravens, and one of the biggest challenges you'll face, slowing down Superman, Lamar Jackson. It's hard to emulate that type of guy at practice, man. So my first question is, who's wearing number 8 at practice, and what are you guys working on to try to slow this dude down, man?
Yeah, I'm guessing they probably have Brett wearing number 8 at practice. That'd be my guess. But honestly, it's really when you're going against the Ravens, it's assignment football. You know, they got a lot of that zone read action and everything like that. And guys got to know their jobs, and you got to be able to trust one another to do that job. And also obviously having a spy on Lamar at times, and also knocking out the run game. And that's the biggest thing, knocking out the run game, because they love to do a lot of play action pass off of it and things like that. So honestly, it's just assignment football this week. Guys got to really hone in on their jobs and trust one another.
DeForest, there was, you know, a big move made earlier this morning. We heard about it, that the Patriots were releasing a former Defensive Player of the Year in Stephon Gilmore. You were the 49ers' big player for a long time, and you were moved in the offseason. What is it like when you are a star of a team and you wake up one day and you're like, wait a second, I have been moved, or I've been traded, or I've been released? And what would your words be to Stephon Gilmore as he starts a new page in his career?
Yeah, it's definitely tough, you know, to wrap your head around, you know what I mean, when you are one of the main guys on the team and all of a sudden, you know, you get uprooted and you get traded or anything like that. But also, I mean, it's kind of refreshing, you know what I mean, being able to start over and kind of prove yourself all over again. You know what I mean? It just fuels your hunger for the game, and also, you know, to be one of those top guys in your position. And for a guy like Stephon Gilmore, I mean, you know, he just needs to, continue to, he's a one hell of a player, high caliber. And, you know, he just needs to really wrap his mind around on being able to, you know, playing with that chip on his shoulder all over again, and just being able to embrace, you know, whatever team he goes to, that new team, they want him. You know what I mean? That's somebody who wants him and to help their team. And that's what that's the mindset that I had coming in, and I was able to help my team right away.
Great answer.
Maybe he ends up with a horseshoe on his helmet. We do not know. It is an intriguing day here in the NFL. You guys coming off a win, of course, could always look to get better.